Glitched out, phased out, scratched up, smashed in, short-circuited. Electronic gadgets make the world go round. But when they're done, where do they go? 50 million tons of e-waste every year, weighing more than all the airliners ever made. A fifth is recycled, and the rest degrades and decays because we want that new laptop, we want that new TV, washing machine, air conditioner, vacuum cleaner, hairdryer. Our demand for new tech never tires. But how much more can our planet take of machines that are made to break? We need gadgets we can lease, repair, and recycle. A circular economy that spins like vinyl to create new from the old. We need industries to design smarter products that last longer. We need policies to manage e-waste better. And when you buy your tech, think about where it'll end. Together, we can put this planet on the mend.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming here. And thank you to Green School for providing us with such a unique and interesting learning format for all of our Quest students. Do you really know what happens to e-waste? E-waste follows the same tragic story as any other type of waste. But I'm here talking about it today over any other kind because e-waste is one of the most toxic types of discarded materials, as it contains materials such as mercury, lead, sulfur, and many more. Every single year, we produce around 50 million tons of e-waste. This is equivalent to around 1,000 RMS Titanics, or, as you saw, every single airliner ever produced. But e-waste also contains some very valuable materials, such as gold, copper, iron, and some very expensive components. All this together accounts to around $90 billion thrown away every single year. And less than a quarter, in fact only around 22% of all e-waste is recycled. Now, let's have a quick look at e-waste on a more global scale. If we take a look, continents like Europe and Oceania are leading in e-waste per capita, but make up for it with high e-waste recycling rates at around 41% each. I'd like to focus on Asia though. In Asia, we have mostly developing countries, less EEE consumption per capita, and low e-waste per capita. But Asia is also a highly densely populated continent, which makes it the largest e-waste producer on the planet. Around half of all our e-waste comes from Asia alone. And it's one of the lowest e-waste recycling continents at around 11%, half of the global average. Indonesia alone produces around 2 million tons per year. Before Quest, when I was 12, not so long ago, I started getting into computers and tech, casually watching videos explaining the basics of repairing a computer. Around this time, I met a friend. He's who you could call your typical type of nerd. He would always build his own electronics, such as his own 3D printer and a robotic arm. When I met him, everything changed for me. He started a passion in me to learn what each component in a computer did, looked like, and was called. As I learned more and more, I slowly started becoming known as a tech guy in my friend group, always being called first when someone in my friends or family needed help with a computer. Much before grade 8, I would try to collect computers and try to fix them just for fun. So from day one, I knew that this is what I wanted to relate my quest to. So my search began. I started emailing all of our Green School community, sending out an email to all faculty, parents, and students, even getting into the weekly newsletter. But this wasn't working very well, as I only received a single computer, and that was from one of my close friends. But a few weeks after this failure, I started realizing that a computer started getting donated to me from anywhere from middle school and high school. And I was wondering where these were coming from. This is when I learned something very valuable, something called word to mouth. Word to mouth is one of the most powerful marketing techniques used by big companies all around the world, as it is quite literally free advertising. It's the act of telling one of your friends or family members about something because you find it cool or interesting. This is extremely useful for marketing on a low budget. This is why I wanted to expand this to all around Bali. Around this time is when I heard of Bali group chats. Whether it be on WhatsApp, Telegram, or iMessage, these group chats interconnected Bali from Lovina to Ahmed, down to Denpasar, or here in Sibang. So I started joining as many of these group chats as possible and started sending out my message multiple times in each one, asking if anyone wanted to help me out with my quest. this worked flawlessly. I received many computers from this. But I did notice one trend: disproportionate amount of laptops to desktops. During my quest, I didn't receive a single desktop. Now, this might be because we live in mostly in big part expat and nomadic community, where laptops are much more light and portable, hence easier to transport and easier for people here to use. But I have another theory. Thanks to my knowledge, I know that desktops are much more modular, hence, which means that you can change everything inside it if something breaks. It means you can make it last longer and don't have to throw it away as often. But it also means that you can upgrade it to meet modern standards for computer speed, and you don't have to change computers every 3 years. Now that I had all these computers, I had to fix them. When it comes to fixing computer, there are two main categories: hardware and software. For software, it's quite complicated, as it depends from computer to computer, and each one can have many different problems. This can take anywhere from minutes to days to fix. For hardware, it's a bit more simple, or so I thought, as all it takes is replacing a broken part, ordering a new one, and putting in the new one. Anything from a screen to keyboard to trackpad or speaker. But something I didn't think of is that because we live in a small island here in Indonesia, supplies are quite limited. Specific parts for specific computers were almost impossible to find. Some completely impossible to find, others marked up at outrageous prices. Despite these challenges, I managed to fix 4 computers. But now that I had these computers, what was I going to do with them? I couldn't just keep them. That would defeat the whole purpose of my quest. This is why I wanted to push my quest from a repair project to a donate and reuse project as well. I wanted to do this by donating them. I thought back to a school trip that we did a few weeks prior for Green School to a local school here in Sibang. When I learned how many of the students didn't have access to computer, it really enlightened me on this problem and how much my project could help. Let me help you. Think of how much less you could do without your computer in a modern society. Think of how many less people you could contact, how many less languages you could learn, how much less information you could gather, how much less history and culture you could learn from all around the world. This is why I decided to donate all these computers to the Soul Family Foundation. These computers will now be donated to this foundation. I chose this foundation because it fits perfectly with my project. They take common household items such as clothing, computers, phones, tablets, or anything else you think someone may need and donate them to people that really need it. Now, I'm happy to announce that I will be continuing my project past grade 8 in Quest. But for this, I will need your help. Please donate a computer that you may have left in your closet. Maybe you want to give it a better purpose or a better life. For this, you can contact me at my Green School email on the screen, talk to me during the Quest break or after Quest. Although I will take any type of computers, I do have a strong preference for desktops though. On a larger scale, I would like to talk about the fact that because we are all residents here in Asia, we need to push the Asian governments to introduce and enforce stronger laws and legislations for e-waste recycling. One way we can do this is normalize refurbishing. Refurbishing is super common in continents such as North America and Europe, especially Germany. As someone who's lived in Europe before, I can tell you that buying a refurbished product is just as common as buying a new one, as it is cheaper, better for the environment, and good as new. And remember, together we can put this planet on the mend. Before I go, I want to express my gratitude to everybody that helped me during my quest. Whether it be Ibu Laura, Ibu Angie, or Pak George, everybody else behind the scenes making Quest possible for all of us. And I would like to give the biggest special thanks to my mom for always checking in on me and pushing me and believing in me during my entire Quest project. Thank you.